Yeah, I should probably do something about that.
Because there's so many stressful real life things going on all the time. So with my content, I try to keep it positive and make it like an escape.
All right, I've got ValleyFlyin with us here today. He's going to be telling us a lot about his family, his personal life, his career, what brought him to Marvel Strike Force, where he's going to be going, and what keeps him so happy playing this game when so many of us are having such a hard time. Valley, how are you doing, my friend?
I am doing great. How are you, Ron?
I'm great. It's good to have you on. So, Valley, I'm going to start you off with the easy question I like to ask all of the content creators this. If you had to pick 5, who's the minions that you're going to be bringing in?
Ugh. I think we're gonna go with aim right now. 1, because there's that scourge that flips the negative effects every time they take a turn, and 2, and probably the more important reason, way back in the day when I was pulling red stars, I got some pretty good red stars on these aim minions. I got a 7 monstrosity, I got 6s on some of the others, and 5 is the lowest I've had in these minions. So I think I'm gonna go with aim, and hopefully that scourge helps them enough that they can survive without Scientist Supreme.
You are an envoy. How long have you been an envoy?
Since the program started.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember.
Wow.
And whenever that was started.
And what?
It's been years, I think.
What's that like for you being an envoy? How has that benefited you and your content?
I get so many awesome PNGs from being an envoy. It is so cool. That's the main reason. Sometimes there's the envoy videos, which are kind of hit and miss as far as views and everything like that. Sometimes we can get some communication that the devs don't really give publicly. So I guess that's a good thing. And if there's something that we need fixed right away, they respond a little quicker in the envoy chat than they would to a DM. So
okay.
I guess that's the main thing. Some other people benefit a little more from the envoy program and report bugs a little bit more, get a lot more information that they use. I'm a little out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
The envoy program.
Yeah. If you could make any changes to that program, what would you do?
Ooh. I wish I had some of these questions that I could think about beforehand.
Oh no, I got to get you going live. I mean, because for me, I don't see them pushing you guys enough. I don't see them utilizing you guys enough or promoting you guys enough. That would be my thing.
That would be cool. I know they started. Every so often they're like, "Hey, what videos do you have that we could promote?" And sometimes we submit those. Sometimes it helps with views on the channel. Sometimes it just helps very little. But yeah, that would be good. The more communication would be good. I know it's not their full-time job to just communicate with us and handle the problems. I would like things done a little quicker.
Yeah.
And it has been improving, but sometimes they go with weeks that we don't hear from them, and then other days it's every question gets answered within minutes. So it's not super inconsistent, but it's fine. Yeah, I'm not sure what the big purpose of it. I think what Cerebro said at one time is, you guys do with the information what you want. We just want it to be accurate. So I think they get the most upset is when content creators are pushing out inaccurate information. If we're talking about how the game sucks or how this is bad and everything, as long as it's accurate, they're pretty cool with that. So that's
and yet they tend to give you guys inaccurate information.
Well, this was a conversation that Cerebro had in years. This is not in 2022. That
Yeah, in a day and age where
it's like all inaccurate information now on the blog post and everything.
Right, in a day and age where the data mines tend to be more accurate than the blog posts. No, one thing that I thought was kind of humorous was this last week when everybody's talking about Ultron and Titania, and the envoys weren't because you guys were under NDA. Was that right?
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Right.
So there's a mole in the program and leaking some.
Right.
We can't do anything with.
I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I don't know if there's a mole in the program or not. It could be one of the developers that has a friend outside or so. Who knows. I don't you don't really like that theory, do you? Okay.
I don't think so.
Well, I just thought it was unfortunate because there was a lot of good information going around there, but it was all speculative. And then, it comes out that Ultron is getting a rework and Titania is going to be accompanying him. And it was like, wow, I bet you guys really wanted to talk about that.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of questions asked. And I'm like, yeah, I can't say anything.
Right.
I don't know. I might know, but I can't say either way.
They want to know how excited you were about Ultron and Titania.
Yeah.
Not a big one for you? Oh,
Not super big because, you know, I don't have a lot of resources. Not a lot of gold. There's not a lot of training mats. And it's about Apocalypse right now. So they're not a requirement for Apocalypse. They're not going to help. They're not a horseman team. So yeah, they're fine.
What do you want to improve on as a player of the game?
You know what I would like? I'd like to improve the Crucible matches that I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm going through the matches. I'm like, I have no idea if this is gonna work, but we got to try it now. But, you know, War has that practice mode. I wish Crucible also had that practice mode that we could try out some of these teams with the bonuses, the room bonuses, so that we could be more accurate with our attacks. Because a lot of these attacks, some of the attacks, I'm going in, I'm like, oh man, and I can't tell if the team that I'm using is doing good because it's good RNG, or if I lost because it was bad RNG. And a larger sample size with like some replays with no consequence, like War has those replays, would be a lot better, I think. So that I'd like to improve my Crucible, and I think if the devs added replay mode would help with that. I also like that it's a 24-hour window. It's not like War where, you know, if you're really competitive in War, you got to be on right at that first hour or first 2 hours and get your attacks in. Whereas Crucible doesn't
24
really
hours
because there's no room like the Armory that you're trying to take out before the opponent. So it's not a race. It's, you know, whatever you get done in that time frame. So that's another reason I like Crucible as well.
What got you into Marvel content?
All right, so my original channel was about fitness and nutrition, exercise, because back in the day I was a personal trainer. And then I started playing, I forget what game. I was playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and then there was this Marvel game that came out, Marvel's Avengers Alliance 2. And that was, I think the original version was on Facebook. I started playing that one, and it's like, hey, you know what? The YouTube channel for the fitness, there's a little bit of money. Maybe if I make some videos for that, I can make a little money and, you know, cover my purchases in that game. And that game, the channel just started taking off when the numbers were a lot better than my personal training channel. And so I started just shifting to that. And then unfortunately that game went away. It just kind of folded. Disney pulled the license, and then it went away. So for a while I wasn't really playing any. I was playing a few games, but nothing making content on, because, you know, I was so far behind. I started late in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I shifted over to Marvel Future Fight at that point, was late at that, and was playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I was watching Mobile Gamer's channel. He talked about this new game, Marvel Strike Force, that's coming out. He said, oh, this game is okay, it's cool, but it's not very good yet because there's not a lot of game modes. Like, yeah, okay. And then he made another video. It's like, oh, they fixed this. Now we have an arena system, and now it's good. It's like, all right, well, let me give this a try. It's still in beta. And then when it came to global launch, like, all right, this is a game that I could start to make content on. So started the channel back up again, and yeah, went from there. It slowly started to grow and eventually evolved into where we're at now. So started doing this for fun, and then it grew. So
what happens if Marvel Strike Force shutters tomorrow? What happens if they just shut down the servers? Do you have a plan to go to a different game, go back to a fitness channel? What's your game plan?
I'm actually putting content on my other channel right now for Marvel Snap, because I'm having a lot of fun playing Marvel Snap.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so it's starting to build that up. That channel was monetized at one point, but for the monetization, you need a certain amount of views and watch time and everything like that. So hopefully I could build that up again and get that monetized again and start putting content on there. Putting the content just like I did with Marvel Strike Force, trying to put content very consistently, and that's how the channel grew initially. So I'm trying to do that with the other channel as well. So that's my plan. It's not in place yet, but I think we got some time with Marvel Strike Force.
So you mentioned fitness and that you had a fitness channel earlier. Why is fitness so important to you, and are you still keeping up on your routine?
Currently, no, because I had surgery in my fingers a couple weeks ago, last week Monday, so I can't train right now, but I can still go to the gym, do certain exercises. Can't do everything that I used to do. But before that, yes, I'm keeping up with my fitness pretty consistently. I eat pretty healthy. I try to avoid sugar, alcohol, some of these things that can, you know, just cause a lot of health problems there. yeah, it's always been something important to me. I don't know why.
Is that a part of you do some mixed martial arts? Is it jujitsu?
Not mixed martial arts, just jujitsu. Yeah. So before jujitsu, I was actually focused more on just lifting, trying to get super strong. I was a little bigger. Then I started doing jujitsu, and the girls actually, my two daughters, actually started that before. They were wrestling, and I was like, you know what? You guys should learn to do this right. They went to jujitsu, and eventually they switched schools. And when they switched schools, I started up that school as well, and just fell in love with it and shifted my workouts. So now it's not about being strong anymore. It's more about preventing injuries. And my size went from about 240 down to about 200, just shifting my workouts, shifting my eating. And yeah. So yeah, it's still important to me. And mainly right now I'm training for jujitsu and training to stay injury-free in jiu-jitsu. So that's mainly what my workouts focus on right now.
How does your family handle you being a content creator?
They usually come first. I mean, when I'm scheduling things, one of the reasons I don't stream at night or do a lot of evening content is because, a lot of times I'm taking care of the kids, making sure they're ready for bed, making sure they have dinner ready and their lunch is all ready for tomorrow and everything like that. So that's the first priority. Next priority is probably the channel. After that, as much as I can do with working out and training, I keep that pretty consistent. The good thing about content creation is you could kind of make your own schedule. And in the beginning, to make a video took so long. It took me a whole day to make one 5-10 minute video. Now it's a lot more streamlined, so it doesn't take as long to make stuff. So the good thing about being a content creator, you can kind of make your own schedule. So if there's a lot of stuff to do, I can make the time usually. And my family's pretty flexible as well. If there's something really important, they're usually pretty good with that, because I do spend a lot of time with them. So
people have been bugging me in chat about it. You did some acting work back in the day. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I did. I think they're probably talking about the Baywatch episode that I was on. I actually started out in the writing department there.
Oh, really?
I was a writing assistant there for the first season that they moved to Hawaii. I think they moved to Baywatch Hawaii either 2 or 3 seasons. So the first season I was in the writing department. Second season, I wasn't. So I would do a lot of background extra work for them. And then one day it was like, oh, there's this role. Why don't you audition for this? So I auditioned, got that, and that was my first role. After that, moved to LA, did a few other projects out there, some TV, some movies, some plays, some commercials. But after that, just kind of got busy with other stuff and kind of fell out of that. But it was fun for a while.
Would you ever?
I still like that. I still like performing and being entertaining and being an entertainer. But
right.
Some of the stuff with the acting, that industry, there's just a lot of BS to deal with, and that part I didn't like. But the actual acting and all that stuff, I still enjoy performing and entertaining people and stuff.
And so here on YouTube and Twitch, you can be your own man and do whatever you want. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Make my own scripts, talk about whatever I want. It's cool. So
I'm guessing you wouldn't ever go back to acting. You're going to stay here where you can be in charge?
If there was something that popped up that it was a good role, yeah, but not that daily grind of sending out resumes, sending out photos, looking for different projects. I wouldn't want to do that. But if something popped up, then yeah, I would.
What do you really get a kick out of? Is it making people laugh? Is it bringing them good information? What's your angle on that?
I like the information.
Yeah.
I went to school for broadcasting, so I have a news background. So I kind of like doing news. So covering what's going on in Marvel Strike Force is probably my favorite thing. It's an easy thing, so anybody can kind of make that content. So I try to keep it. I try to do things original. I try to keep it fun. Try to stay positive. I think it's very easy to be negative, and I try to keep my content positive, and because there's so many stressful real life things going on all the time. So with my content, I try to keep it positive and make it like an escape. People play a game because they don't want to deal with all the BS in real life. They want to escape from that. And if they're looking at a channel about content, there's obviously a lot of stuff to be angry about. And, there's certain times that I fall into that as well. And maybe even periods, a month-long periods that I fall into that. But overall, when I look at the channel, what I want to do, I want to try to keep things positive there, informing people, helping people out. You know, someone told me way back in the day, the more people you could help, the more people you could reach, the better it's going to be for you. And that's what I found. The more people you could help, the more lucrative it's going to be for you. So I just want to help people, entertain people, and have fun and give them an escape from whatever stress is going on in their real life.
I would like to ask, when you fall into those ruts, those negative periods where there's so many things going wrong in the game, where life is overwhelming and you don't have time for a 2-hour blitz timer and you feel like you're falling behind and your alliance is pushing you, what do you do to try and turn yourself around, to try and stay positive? Is there something you do in Marvel Strike Force? Is there something you do with the community? Do you just do extra workouts? Like what is it? What do you do to blow off steam and whatnot?
With Marvel Strike Force, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It ain't Marvel Strike Force that's helped me get out of that rut. I'm not sure. I mean, I was in a bad place for a little while, and I had a discussion with my wife, and after that discussion, I'm a lot more happy and more positive. A lot of times I found, like, when I am injured and stuff and can't train, usually I'm getting darker and more negative with everything. So I find out working out and having a lot of other stuff around helps that. But I think for me, talking helps. Talking to people helps, because a lot of even streaming, sometimes when I come on, sometimes before the stream, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a crappy day. But by the end of the stream, it's fun hanging out with everybody and talking to people. So that kind of helps as well. I think for me, talking, interacting,
talking
to my friends, and like a lot of the things that I have in my mind that are really big problems, as I say them, like, yeah, that's not really big. But if I keep in my head, it's huge. But once I say it or talk to somebody about some of the things that are bothering me, it's like, all right, I'm good. Cool.
Final question, Valley. What is the biggest misconception about you that you think the community has? What's the one thing that you think maybe the community perceives you in one way, but you feel it's a different way?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of the comments I hear or see is like I'm the positive content creator in the MSF community, and I'm trying to do that on purpose. I'm trying to be the positive person, because it's like I said, it's easy to be negative. So I think that's one perception. What are some of the things that the community is saying about me? I don't know.
I think just that. Everybody talks about you being a really positive streamer. You're one of the OG content creators from the beginning. One of the pillars of this content creation community, really. So
most of the people aren't around anymore that I started making content with.
To be able to go on your stream and have you on mine, this has just been an absolute blessing. I think it's great that you're such a happy guy, pushing that positive messaging out to everybody. So I am honored to have you here.
No, I'm honored to be here, my friend. I've been watching you for a while. I think I first heard about you when you were roasting my war defense and how bad it was. I'm like, oh, geez.
Best video I ever made. It just blew your picture up on the thumbnail as big as I could. I knew what I was doing. No, yeah, everything I do as a content creator, I steal from everybody else. So you do the news, I do a very short version of the news. Other people were giving some advice, so I find some smarter people than myself to help me give advice. Like, I mean, even my intros to videos and stuff, I kind of stole from people. So I don't know where the line between plagiarism and research is. I'm probably writing that pretty fine, but I hope that mimicry is the best form of flattery, and I hope to be able to do half as good as you do, sir, because you are really amazing. So thank you again for coming on.
Ron, I heard once you do it like 3 or 4 times, it's yours.
Oh, is that it?
That's what I heard.
Is that it?
It's true, but that's what I heard. So if you've done it 3 or 4
well,
times.
Well, then Hulk fist bump out. No. All right, my guy. Thank you so much for joining us. I will drop this call and I will catch up with you another time. Don't hesitate to call me if you ever need to do anything again.
I love doing this with you. I definitely will call you again for that.
All right. All right. Bye, Valley. Thanks.
Later, man.
Holy cow. That was amazing. Oh, and I even hit the record button too. I'm so glad I did that.